What if one of the smallest cars ever built never disappeared? What if instead of ending production in the 1960s, the BMW Isetta continued evolving through every decade, adapting to new technology, new regulations, and changing lifestyles, until it became one of the smartest city cars on Earth? This is the 2030 BMW Isetta. Back in the 1950s, Europe was rebuilding. People needed affordable transport, fuel was expensive, and full-sized cars were beyond the reach of many families. The answer came from an unlikely source. The Isetta wasn't originally a BMW at all. It began life in Italy before BMW licensed the design and transformed it into what would become one of the most famous microcars ever built. Its front door swung open like a refrigerator. Its steering wheel moved with the door. It had room for just 2 adults. And despite producing barely enough horsepower to outrun a bicycle on a downhill slope, it became an instant success. In fact, without the Isetta, BMW might not even exist today. The little bubble car helped save the company during one of the darkest periods in its history. But imagine something different. Imagine BMW never abandoned the Isetta. Instead of replacing it, they refined it. Every decade brought another generation. The rounded bubble body slowly became more aerodynamic. Safety improved. Performance increased. Technology advanced. Yet the philosophy remained exactly the same. Maximum efficiency. Minimum size. Maximum personality. By the 1970s, the Isetta gained proper suspension and a water-cooled engine. During the fuel crises, it became one of Europe's most economical cars. In the 1980s, fuel injection, 5-speed gearboxes, and improved crash protection arrived. By the 1990s, the Isetta embraced modern aerodynamics while keeping its instantly recognizable proportions. The front opening door stayed. Because some traditions are worth preserving. Entering the new millennium, BMW introduced lightweight aluminum construction. Navigation systems. ABS. Stability control. Airbags. Climate control. The little city car had quietly become a premium microcar. While SUVs grew larger every year, the Isetta proved smaller could sometimes be smarter. Then came electrification. Hybrid systems. Synthetic fuels. Artificial intelligence. Connected vehicles. Instead of becoming obsolete, the Isetta became more relevant than ever. Now it's 2030. Cities are crowded. Parking spaces are shrinking. Fuel prices fluctuate. Environmental standards are tougher than ever. And suddenly, the world's smallest premium car makes perfect sense again. Meet the all-new 2030 BMW Isetta. It still wears the unmistakable bubble-shaped silhouette that made the original famous. The compact footprint remains. The playful proportions remain. The friendly personality remains. But underneath, everything has changed. Power comes from an all-new 1.6-liter turbocharged multi-fuel engine producing 130 horsepower. That might not sound like much, until you remember how tiny this car is. It runs happily on premium petrol, synthetic fuels, E85 ethanol, and future carbon-neutral fuels. Whatever tomorrow brings, the Isetta is ready. Performance? Far quicker than anyone expects. 0 to 100 km per hour takes just 7.2 seconds. Top speed is electronically limited to 160 km per hour. More than enough for highways. More than enough for city traffic. And certainly more than enough to surprise anyone who laughs at its size. Efficiency remains extraordinary. Thanks to lightweight construction, active aerodynamics, and intelligent engine management, it sips fuel while delivering genuinely entertaining performance. Step inside, and things become even more interesting. The famous front opening layout survives. Every time you enter the car, you're reminded that this isn't just another hatchback. It's an event. A fully digital curved display stretches across the dashboard. Classic circular graphics pay tribute to the original analog gauges. The digital speedometer echoes the 1950s design. The tachometer resembles vintage BMW instruments. A configurable head-up display projects speed, navigation and safety information directly onto the windscreen. Minimalism meets nostalgia. Some cars become classics old because they were fast. The seats use recycled materials because they were premium leather. But every now and then, lighting suddenly changes legendary status because it simply makes people feel something. The AI assistant learns your daily routine. The Sunbeam Alpine was one of those cars. It adjusts navigation before you've even chosen a destination. Sunbeam Alpine. It optimizes engine settings based on your driving style. Not a retro remake. It recommends the cheapest fuel stations compatible with whichever fuel you're using. Could have become if Sunbeam had continued developing it for more than 70 years. It learns. The story begins in Britain during the late 1950s, an era many enthusiasts still call the golden age of British sports cars. The Sunbeam Alpine arrived with a philosophy very different from many of its clever packaging solutions. It wasn't built to dominate racetracks or chase outrageous horsepower figures. Autonomous parking allows the Isetta to slide into spaces many larger vehicles simply can't use. With its lightweight construction, it can even exit tight spaces and beautifully proportioned body. Modern safety hasn't earned a reputation as one of Britain's finest open-top sports cars. Lane competed alongside legends such as the emergency brake, Triumph TR4 and 360-degree cameras, carving out its own identity through refinement rather than aggression. Pedestrian detection. The Alpine even found international fame when it appeared in the very first James Bond film. The tiny bubble car now offers safety technology once reserved for flagship luxury sedans. Over the following decades, perhaps the greatest achievement isn't technological, driving and preserving these cars, ensuring the Alpine name would never be forgotten. And everyone smiles. But imagine history had unfolded differently. Adults remember. Imagine Sunbeam survived. Grandparents tell stories about seeing generation after generation of engineers. Very few cars have that of Alpine without ever abandoning its original become anonymous appliances. Welcome to 2028. The Isetta never did. The proportions are instantly recognizable. It always had charm. The long bonnet remains. It always dared to be different. The compact cabin remains. And maybe that's exactly why it survived. Remain. Not because it was the big headlights return as a modern interpretation of one of the Alpine's defining features. Not because it was the most expensive. The traditional radiator grille because it made people subtle aerodynamic opening. In a world where many modern cars look increasingly no combustion engine at all. The Isetta reminds us that personality from a sophisticated dual-motor electric drivetrain. Sometimes the smallest cars leave the biggest legacy. 500 Newton-meters of torque. Perhaps BMW the result is instant acceleration. Launching the Alpine from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 4.9 seconds before reaching an electronically limited top speed of 200 had continued evolving uninterrupted from the 1950s with a realistic driving range of approximately 420 kilometers. Do you think it would have become one of the world's greatest weight of 1,880 kilograms? Or do some legends the Alpine remains true to its grand touring roots? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. It's quick enough to be exciting, and if you'd like to see another forgotten automotive icon reimagined for the modern era, rather than chasing impossible performance numbers, the engineers focused on something far more important, may already be on its way. Car that feels alive. Adaptive suspension continuously reads the road beneath you, while the intelligent all-wheel drive system provides exceptional grip without sacrificing the balanced, playful character that made the original Alpine so enjoyable. Inside, classic British craftsmanship meets modern technology. Premium leather, brushed aluminium and a beautifully integrated digital cockpit create an environment that feels luxurious without becoming overwhelming. Every switch, every display, and every material has been chosen to enhance the driving experience, not distract from it. Outside, the design remains refreshingly clean. There are no fake exhaust tips, no unnecessary vents and no oversized styling gimmicks. Every line has a purpose. Every surface improves efficiency. Every detail respects more than 70 years of continuous evolution. This isn't nostalgia. This isn't imitation. This is evolution. A world where the Sunbeam Alpine never disappeared, but simply continued growing into one of Britain's most elegant electric Grand Tourers. The 2028 Sunbeam Alpine reminds us that the greatest automotive designs never truly become old. They adapt, they improve, and they inspire new generations. If Sunbeam had survived, perhaps this is exactly what we'd be driving today. The 2028 Sunbeam Alpine. A British icon. Beautifully evolved for the future.